right. Well, here we go again on the second Friday morning. Again, Dennis Darble with Lynx Players, with the privilege of hosting and having some time to have a conversation with Danny Edwards, former outstanding standout player for Oklahoma State, and then followed by a very successful PGA Tour career. Danny, good to see you again this morning.
Thank you, Dennis. Good to see you.
I really appreciate you carving out some time to spend a little time. Let me ask you just to we hinted at it a little bit. Of course, I went back and did a little research and looked at your college career and your PGA Tour career, and I'd like for you, just if you don't mind, to sort of expand on that a little bit. Am I right? Weren't you on the Walker Cup team?
I was, Dennis. 1973 United States Walker Cup team. Great honor. Great honor.
What an honor. So,
oh yeah,
Oklahoma State, and you won North South.
On the North South, yes.
What other collegiate events did you win?
Oh gosh, Dennis. Honestly, those 4 years, I won quite a few. But the big ones were the Sonny Hanna, the Walker Cup. That's the 10 best amateurs in the country, and got to represent my country against Great Britain and Ireland at the Country Club, Brookline, Mass, where the Open was last year. But I had an outstanding college career. I was actually honorary All-American my freshman year, of all things. I made the third team All-American my sophomore year, and I was first team All-American my junior and senior year.
Wow!
So it was a great career. There were numerous college tournaments that I was able to win, but it was a great career. Oklahoma State was the place I always wanted to go from my senior year in high school. And I was there, and so it was just a great place. I was only 40 miles from Edmond, so I could go back home often. And we had a great team: Marquez, Doug Toole. We had some really good players, Don Bliss from St. Louis, and so it was just a great time. And FCA was a strong group. But things started to change then in college because we were traveling a lot. We were gone on the weekends to tournaments. We played, a couple of tournaments a month, and they had qualifying. And when I got there as a freshman, I looked around the room and I said, probably all these guys have played more golf than I've played. I've got to work hard, and that was my motto. I'll just work harder than everybody else. My old beat-up Volkswagen was in the parking lot at Lakeside Golf Course, probably the only car there 10 or 12 days in January and February for sure. And my motto was that I would play at least 3 holes every single day, no matter what the weather was.
Wow.
And I did. I kept that promise. And there were plenty of days I was the only guy out on that golf course. But I wanted it. I wanted it badly to be a successful player. So getting selected for the Walker Cup team by the United States Golf Association was a great honor. I have to say I was the only player that won all 4 of his matches there in that event.
Wow.
So a great experience with Gary Koch.
Bottom line is, I hear in this a great theme. You competition and being in competition just seemed like you were pretty comfortable there at a high school and a collegiate level. And then, of course, when you get to the PGA Tour, I mean, just to get there is amazing, but to win one time, but you won multiple times. Tell us a little bit about your PGA career.
Well, it was exciting. I qualified my first time at the PGA Tour, which obviously was a big deal. There were a couple, 200-300 guys that started out trying to get one of the, I think it was 25 spots or 23 spots, maybe something like that, maybe even less. But I made it, and I was out on the PGA Tour, and I headed to Phoenix for my first tournament, the Phoenix Open. At Phoenix Country Club, and of all things, on Saturday I get paired with Arnold Palmer and Frank Beard. My first PGA Tour event. I couldn't believe it, and there's people everywhere. Anyway, it was unbelievable. It was unbelievable playing with Arnold that day.
Were you nervous?
Well, yeah, you're nervous. You're always nervous when you tee off. You probably wouldn't be human if you weren't nervous, but. Had a great time playing with him on Saturday, and some funny things happened that I wrote about in the book. And Great story. So and on Saturday I walk out there, Dennis, and I look around and I say to myself, Edwards, 2 weeks ago, you're sitting at home in Edmond, Oklahoma, knowing what your future is going to be. And you're standing here getting ready to tee off with Arnold Palmer on Saturday at the Phoenix Open as a professional. Just pinch yourself, would you?
Yeah, that's a little bit different than when you stood on the tee a few months ago with me. Yeah, you didn't have that same. That's
well,
extraordinary.
I was
Very
pinching
first
myself.
event.
I was pinching myself, but it was to be careful that I didn't get hit with the ball or something.
How did you play? Did you play okay that day with Arnie?
I played pretty good. I finished, I don't know, I remember probably in the 25 to 30, 35th or something. And of course, in those days, if you made the cut, even though you weren't a fully exempt player, you were in the tournament the next week. So I was in the tournament the next week. So I headed over to Pebble Beach for the Pebble Beach Invitational. So it was just unbelievable to be out there, to be making some money finally for the first time. You get a check, you see in the newspaper, you made $2,500 or $3,500. That's a big deal
Guarantee it.
In those years in 1975. So that was the start to my tour career, and managed to win 5 tournaments. Was in the hunt a lot of times. I finished 5th in the British Open. In fact, when the late Tom Weiskopf won, I was 5th place that year. Had some amazing things happen over there in the majors. Got to play the Masters finally and all the majors, and started a career that was really pretty much to dream of.
Well, listen, I want to, one of the more intriguing and fascinating things about you, we'll discuss this hopefully, God willing, next Friday. You're maybe the only one or one of the very, very few that not only played at the highest level in golf competition, PGA Tour no less, but you also became, I still remember this when I was a much younger man, you were also a race car driver. And then I don't think a lot of people know this about you, but you are the founder and president and very innovative with Royal Grips many years ago. So next Friday, let's talk about those two things a little bit. And then I understand that you've got some very exciting things. Maybe we'll get to this in the 4th Friday. I want to hear about the chipping equation and what you're doing with TrackMan and how all this science is coming together to really teach players how to be better. So thanks for your time again on this Friday. We'll look forward to seeing you next week.
Thank you, Dennis.
You got it, brother.